Hey guys, welcome to Nuko Maths. On this channel, we break down concepts into easy steps for you to understand. Today, we're going to be going over solving simultaneous equations. We will cover the substitution method and the elimination method. Simultaneous equations will be given to you one underneath the other one, like here. To know if you have to use simultaneous, you will have two variables, like x and y. In this equation, it tells you that x is equal to 3y, so we substitute that into the second equation and we write 3y plus y. And we want to do this so we have one variable to solve, and we solve as normal, leaving us to y equals 2. We substitute our y value back into the first equation and get x equals 6. And now to check that our x and y are correct, we put it back into either equation, and if it equals the answer in the equation, then it's correct. In this next question, we can see that x is equal to 4 minus y. So we're going to substitute that x into the second equation, and we're going to expand normally like a bracket. So we're going to get 12 minus 3y plus 2y equals 10. Now since we have one variable, we'll solve as normal to get y equals 2. Now knowing what y is, we put it back into our first equation to find out what x is, and we find out that x is equal to 2. We double check by putting our x and y values into either of the equations, and if it equals 10, that means it's correct. Now the elimination method has the same format as the substitution, where the equations are one underneath the other. In elimination, the goal is to add or subtract the two equations so that you eliminate one variable and leave one left. So here, if we add two equations, we get 2x and y plus minus y is just y minus y, which means they cancel out, and we get 10 plus 2, which is 12, and we solve normally. We divide the 12 by 2 and then get x is equal to 6. The key here was to eliminate the y's so that we'd only have the x's left. Now we can substitute our x value into any equation and solve for y. Now we double check and put our x and y values into any equation, and if it equals 2, then we know the answers are correct. Here's another example, and the key was that we want to minus or plus these equations so that a variable cancels out. So we're going to multiply the second equation by 2 so that we'll eventually be able to cancel out the y's. So we minus these two equations so that it'll be 2y minus plus 2y, which is just 2y minus 2y. We then solve and we get 3 minus 4x is minus x, the 2y's cancel out, and then 16 minus 2 is 14. And we solve and we get x is equal to negative 14. We then put our x into either equation to solve for y. We rearrange this question to be 2y equals 16 plus 42, 2y is equal to 58, and therefore y is equal to 29. Remember, we have to double check our answers, so we put our x and y into either equation, and if it equals 1, then we know it's correct. Here are some practice questions. Pause the video and give them a shot. I'll now go through the answers. So for question 1, we can see it's a substitution question. So we'll substitute 2x minus 1 where y is meant to be, and we'll solve for x, and we get x is equal to 18 over 5. It's totally okay to get an answer that's a fraction. We then substitute x into any equation to find y, which is 31 over 5. Remember to double check your answers by putting both x and y into any equation, and put it in your calculator, and if it equals 17, then we know it's correct. Now we move on to the elimination, and remember the goal is to be able to cancel out one variable. So we multiply the second line by 2, so the 2y and 2y will cancel out. We're going to add these two equations together and get 11x, cancel out the 2y's, and get 34. And here we can see that x is equal to 34 over 11. We can substitute our x value into any equation to help us find y. We can now simplify our equation and find that y is equal to 8 over 11. And again, we have to check putting in our x and y into any equation, and if we see that the answer is 10, then we know our x and y values are correct. I'll highlight the answers in blue so you know which ones to look back at for each x and y. Here's a summary for our lesson today. We went over how to do substitution and also elimination, and we went through how each process works. And remember, if you have two variables, that means that you'll have to use simultaneous equations, and you can use either substitution or elimination to find the variables. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe so you keep up to date with the videos that we post. Next week's video will go over Pythagoras.